seen Snoop Dogg narrating Planet Earth videos?
Yeah.
It's fucking
Is it on YouTube?
Hilarious, yeah.
No, I haven't.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Just Snoop Dogg watching Planet Earth and just being like, Snoop Dogg.
Commentating.
Oh, fuck. Oh, shit, he's going to eat him. It's just fucking great.
You better run him.
Yeah.
I was thinking,
See, look at this dumb motherfucking wildebeest.
I was thinking Snoop needed more exposure.
Yeah.
And needs another avenue of
Snoop
making
is
money.
the American dream.
Right. He is. He stays working. All right, guys. Were we rolling that whole entire time? Hilarious. We can keep that in. I don't care.
Cake struggles.
I was just thinking, somebody needs to give Snoop a job. He has 83 jobs. Anyway, you guys, welcome to The Struggle. Struggle with Candice Thompson. See, Mal, you jinxed me. You make me forget my name sometimes.
Thank God.
The Struggle with Candice Thompson. I am Candice Thompson. Thank you for listening. For all of our new listeners, thank you so much for joining us. What this podcast is we complain about being an adult and all of our struggles that we have in our daily lives. We know we have more than just one a lot of the time. So we come on this podcast to laugh about it. It makes us cope with it a little bit better. So thank you for joining. You can find me on social media at Jokes by Candice and then CandiceThompsonComedy.com. And now I'm going to introduce my co-host, Mal Hall.
Hi, thank you, Candice Thompson. This is Mal Hall. My website, malhall.com, social media at Mal Hall, and you can unsubscribe to my YouTube channel at Mal Hall TV.
How many people unsubscribed this week?
Actually, 5 people did the opposite.
Oh, man. They're not.
In the last 2 days, I got 5 random subscribers. Thank you. New content coming in August.
They're insubordinate. They're not doing what I tell them to do.
No.
I would like to say, I want to give ourselves a shout out really quickly for our short intros. You ever listen to a podcast and the intro is like 15 minutes long?
Yeah.
And would y'all just get to the shit? What are we talking about here?
Yeah.
I want to get to the fun. So I would like to give us a pat on the back for that. We're very succinct with our intros.
Thank you for making our intro a little bit longer. Let's introduce our guest. Candice, introduce the guest.
Our guest for today, I'm very happy to have you on. Oh my God, it's such a funny comedian.
Thank you.
Rob Christensen, everybody.
Hey.
Yo, what up? This is where I say this stuff?
Yeah.
Rob Christensen.
This is where
is
you
the name
say stuff.
for the third time. BrooklynRob.com, at Rob Loves Bagels everywhere. And then catch all my sketch comedy videos. I release one a week at 3-Letter Crew on Instagram or at 3-Letter Crew on YouTube. So go follow that. It's really funny and good and high quality.
I agree with that. I was just in one of your sketches.
You're Graph Mom.
I was Graph Mom. Did you watch the sketch, Mel?
The glasses were amazing.
You thought that was better than the wig?
The glasses
Sold
tied
it
it all
for you?
together. Yeah.
It really brings it together. Yes.
I walk into Rob's place to start shooting the sketch, and he goes, "We got to make you look like a mom." Like, because he's like, "This isn't gonna work. What's happening?" Because I had the outfit on, and he was just like, the hair that we got to do something. He was like, "Put this on," and gives me this wig. It was the bangs. You know those mini bangs that terrify me. Like if I ever were to get, I would have.
It was like Jada Pinkett hair.
But Jada Pinkett from like, I'm trying to think of, because I don't think her hair has ever looked that. Her hair always looks good to me. Yeah. But like Jada Pinkett, but like Jada Pinkett's mom. That's probably a better description.
I don't get the
of what it
reference,
looked
but
like.
I could picture it.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or her auntie.
All right, got it.
And it's funny because you were like, we have to make you look like a mom because this isn't going to cut it right now. But what's funny is that I got some DMs this week from dudes telling me that I'm a sexy MILF after doing a Rogan's podcast, and they've been sliding into my DMs, and I'm like, you guys know I don't have kids. Like, why are you just assuming? I don't think people know what the word MILF means. I don't think they know what the acronym stands for.
That's their fantasy that they need you. Like, you without a kid is an intimidating woman.
I get it.
With a kid, it's like a MILF.
With a kid.
Oh, it's like knocks you down a peg.
Yeah, they know where to put me. I'm in a box now.
Yeah, right. And then it's like, oh, well, she might need me because no one wants to date a single mom. Right? right? Which is not true. That's not true. But for some Joe Rogan fans, I'm guessing that's the way.
So they know how to handle me.
Which I am a Joe Rogan fan, so I can
I can speak on that.
I can speak on that. And
on my people. I'll speak for my people for the rest of this podcast.
And let me tell you, I want to fuck some moms.
You know, I'm gonna put a baby in my girlfriend so I can be more attractive.
Be a MILF.
Just so she could be more humpable.
Yeah,
humpable. Right.
We gotta make you humpable, girl. Let's put a baby in you.
Put a baby in you.
I can't fantasize about you, babe, until
you're
have
lactating.
A baby. Yeah.
I need to know that there's a room full of responsibilities in this apartment for me to enjoy any sexual
release. For me to
release.
get hard. Well, somebody also sent me a message and they were like, yeah, it's like it's misused all the time because he said he hears women referring to themselves as MILFs. And it's like, you can't call yourself a MILF because then you're saying you're a mom I'd like to fuck. So you're fucking yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
What would the term for that be? A mom other people would like to fuck.
It's a mom you'd like to fuck.
Mulf.
It's just a
mouth.
You mulf. Yeah, mulf. Mom, you'd like to fuck. Yeah, that's easier.
Everyone wants to fuck
than other people.
The girl that calls herself a MILF is a narcissist. Let's be serious.
Absolutely. You're just, first of all, you're just assuming. Like other people are supposed to call you that. You're not supposed to call yourself that.
Yeah, you don't give yourself a nickname and you don't call yourself a MILF.
I made the mistake of doing that one time. I called myself Cornbread. I was trying to get that to catch on.
As your nickname?
Mm-hmm. Because I love cornbread so much. And one time, and
you needed a nickname.
You couldn't go another
day without a nickname.
I couldn't. I was one of those people that was nicknameless for a long time. And so I was like, I want to have a nickname. And I was trying to get cornbread to stick.
How'd you try to get it started?
I just was telling people, call me cornbread.
Mom. From now on, it's cornbread.
You can call me cornbread now if you want. I don't want to.
But it's so cool. Why not?
Call me cornbread.
I was telling people to call me cornbread. But then, so of course, naturally, it didn't stick until... It kind of stuck when I earned the name, because which is what happens when that's how you get a nickname. And it happened organically when I went to Roscoe's with one of my friends back in the day, this was before I even moved, or maybe I think I was in the process of moving out here. So it was a long time ago. And they served me, I ordered the cornbread and they served me this huge slice and I ate the whole thing after I had already eaten my plate of chicken and my waffle. Mm-hmm. And he was like, now you're cornbread.
Nigga, your name is cornbread now. Cornbread Jones.
But luckily, he was the only person who was there to witness it. So
you got that small win, you know?
I did. Yeah. That's all that matters.
I've always been nicknameless myself.
Really?
Every nickname I've given myself my whole life.
Oh, you giving yourself? What were they? Can I ask?
Well, I started doing graffiti, so I picked my own graffiti name, which then became my nicknames, and I had a few of them. Uh-huh. And then also, in comedy, as a joke, I started calling myself the realest in the game.
I do know that.
As a complete joke.
Yeah.
Because it's silly that someone who's not a rapper would be like, yo, I'm the realest in the motherfucking comedy game, son. Try me, son. Try me. Catch me on a mic and see what happens. We're not battling.
Right.
There's no competition. There's no direct competition.
Come get these comedy bars, son.
And so I was trying to do it ironically, and no one wanted to take it. People loved it and wanted it to be serious. And now it comes up all the time.
Yeah.
People call me realist in the game all the time.
It's great. I love
I'll take it. Yeah, I'll take it.
It's so funny. I think it's perfect. And you're back. We'll talk about you. But for me now.
Yeah. Anyway, let's talk about your 5-minute mini struggle. Can we do that?
My mini struggle.
Yeah.
Mini struggles with Candice Thompson.
Keep us on schedule here. Candice Thompson is now going to speak about her struggles.
Trust me, it's going to be short, guys, because this is my struggle for the week. Is I am tired of talking. I think this is my 5th podcast this week, and I have to do another one tomorrow. And I have to do another one tomorrow. I'm doing Jackie Fabulous, so she asked me to be a guest on hers. So I'm spent. I have nothing left to say.
But you're trying to build a brand, though, Candice. That's what you have to do.
Of the podcast comic? Yeah. Don't go see her live. Don't invest in her shows. Just make sure she's on that. Just subscribe. I mean, I could be, you see what happened. You see what happened to Marin. I could be, although I can't redo what he's already done. But maybe I'm just going to be a podcast guest for the rest of my life. Maybe that's what my goal should be.
What I like about Maron's podcast is if you turn it on and then go take a shower and get dressed, by the time you come back to it, he's done talking and the guest is on. It's about perfect time.
Speaking of long intros, right? Like that's a perfect. And like, who are you? And he's talking to himself. Like, who are you talking to?
Yeah.
You ever go to Trader Joe's, guys? So I'm in these aisles. These aisles, they're not wide enough for people to pass. So I'm being polite. I'm letting people pass until I can't let them pass anymore. You know what I'm talking about? What the fuckers?
What the fuckers?
It's hilarious.
You know what I'm talking about? What the strugglers? Where are my strugglers at?
What the struggler?
I'm talking to the struggalos right now.
There was a real struggle in Trader Joe's yesterday. You guys hear someone got shot?
What?
Someone got murdered in the Silver Lake Trader Joe's. By the time you hear this is now a month removed. But someone got shot. A woman got, some dude, it was like a domestic violence thing. He had shot like his grandmother and his girlfriend and then like went on a car chase, but the cops were chasing him. He ended up in a Trader Joe's holding people hostage and he killed somebody. An innocent person just died in Trader Joe's.
That's very serious. I thought it was going to be over like the last cookie butter or something like
it was
that.
very
I mean, that is worth killing for.
I got in trouble in my home for making a joke too soon about it.
Yeah.
Oh, to just your girlfriend?
Yeah.
She got mad at you?
Not real mad, but she's like...
Can we hear the joke or you don't want to say it?
So it's just like...
You're going to get hate for this.
All right, look, you guys can hate on me if you want. I know this is a bad, wrong joke, and I know this is a serious thing, but it was like...
And Candice asked him to do it.
I did. I set him up.
They were talking about it, and my girlfriend was like, oh my God, so they shot someone in a Trader Joe's? That's wild. And I was like, yeah, but... I mean, have you been to a Trader Joe's lately?
I was when I first heard it, I was like, it had to be in the parking lot. Because that's where shit goes down. I've almost gotten into 3 fights in the parking lot in Trader Joe's. Same with Whole Foods.
What?
Because it's always so packed.
So that makes you want to fight?
The people are rough out there.
There's road rage. Absolutely. Someone takes your spot. I've been waiting for the spot. There's never enough parking spaces in Trader Joe's or Whole Foods, ever.
Yeah.
You have to go off-peak times.
Yeah. I'm off-peak. I do everything off-peak. Whole life off-peak.
Off-peak.
I do
That's to be the name of your special after the realist in the game. Off-peak life.
Off-peak life. That's funny.
When's a good time to go to the Bahamas? Hurricane season? I'm there.
I am there.
$200 round trip. $100 a night in the hotel.
When is the weather the worst?
I was in the Bahamas for 3 weeks. Cost me $97.
I'm telling you this on the phone from the hospital after I got hit by a branch.
So that's my struggle, guys.
Oh, my goodness.
That's it. I have nothing to say. I'm not going to say anything the rest of the show.
You keep talking, though, because cornbread don't quit.
Cornbread.
Can't stop, won't stop.
I'm changing your name to Cornbread Thompson.
Really?
Yes.
Are you going to call me cornbread?
No, but in my phone, it'll say cornbread.
Oh.
I'm not going to be in public calling you cornbread.
Why not?
Because.
They said that the first graffiti writer ever was in Philly, and he wrote cornbread.
What do you mean? That's just a word he wrote?
The first recorded graffiti writer, like
and
modern, and he wrote cornbread on the walls around
That
Philly.
was like his signature, like when you saw cornbread?
Yeah, that was the dude. So.
But that wasn't even his name.
So I'm just saying you'd have to be cornbread 2.
Well, no, it's 3 because there's a movie called Cornbread Earl and Me. So there's another cornbread.
Yeah. Cornbread is in the ether, it's just around us at all times.
Cornbread is great.
Cornbread is delicious.
Yeah.
I walked by some the other day at Sprouts, and it took everything inside of me to walk by it because I was like, we're taping next week, and I was just like, I've got to be on camera. I can't eat this cornbread. So I walked past it, looking at it though. I felt it though, just to tease myself. I was like, it's so moist.
She said we're taping a TV show in Montreal at the Just for Laughs Festival, just so you guys know.
Yeah,
it'll be done by the time.
It'll be done by the time, but look for that on Kevin Hart's.
Sort of a really huge deal.
It'll be on Kevin Hart's LOL network.
Awesome.
All right, Mal, what's your struggle?
I don't have one. I forgot it.
What do you mean?
I should have wrote it down. I forgot.
You literally had one when I asked you.
And then I forgot.
Maybe that's your struggle. Is it?
It's forgetting
Do you
stuff.
think it's weed? Do you think weed is affecting your memory?
I smoked a lot of weed yesterday.
When don't you smoke a lot of weed, Mal?
Most of the time I don't smoke a lot of weed. But yesterday, Carlene and I woke up and started smoking weed. And I was like, I was like, Netflix has all the Nicolas Cage movies. I was like, let's do a Nicolas Cage marathon.
And is that what you did?
And that's what we did.
Which ones did you watch?
5 Nicolas Cage movies.
Wait, did you watch, what's my favorite one is the Con Air.
I love it.
That's not on Netflix.
Oh.
We watched Pay the Ghost.
They only have the bad ones.
The bad ones are the best ones.
Pay the Ghost. Pay the Ghost 2.
Yes.
The Ghost Build Back.
Ghost Rider.
Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider 2.
I did see Ghost
Motorcycle
Rider.
Ghost Tales of the Dark.
I could.
Motorcycle Ghost
Here's a
Tales.
question I'll pose to the audience and you guys.
Yeah.
Is Nicolas Cage a bad actor, or does he just like get movies that have terrible scripts?
No, he's a. I've
Or is it
never.
both?
I've
Or
never
is he
been.
the best, worst actor of all time? Because he's great at what
He's
he does.
killing it at being a mediocre actor.
Yeah.
I will admit that. And he's got that. It's nepotism. Why he's famous, right? He's got who's his Coppola,
Yeah,
right? That's
he's a
like his
Coppola.
uncle,
Yeah, he's
or
in the Coppola
something
family.
like that. So yeah, he was going to be doing this anyway. But yeah, no, I've never been impressed by anything that he's done. But I don't get mad. He's not one of those bad actors where I actually enjoy his bad acting.
Yeah.
I'm in a hard disagree there.
You think he's a good actor?
Great actor.
Really?
He's a great actor. Have you seen Raising Arizona?
Which one did he get an Academy Award
Oh,
for?
the one in Vegas.
Yeah.
The drinking. He was drinking. He was an alcoholic who was like
Leaving
dying.
Las Vegas.
Leaving Las Vegas.
Yeah. Like he's a great actor.
I did like that. I did like that one.
But even good actors get bad direction, and he gets a lot of bad scripts lately. And the reason for that is, I'm gonna bring it down
Yeah,
now.
go ahead. Yeah,
Just gonna tell you the reason is because he can open a movie, right?
Right.
So he does not in a theater necessarily, but people will rent a movie with his face on the cover.
Mm-hmm.
So people have a low budget movie with the budget's like $2 million,
Right.
and they'll give him $700,000 to star in the movie.
Yeah.
They'll shoot for 20 days, and it'll go straight to Amazon or Netflix, and they're basically paying him to put his face and name on the cover.
Yeah.
So people will rent it. So
It works.
That's why those movies are all bad, and they all star Nick Cage and Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
And Antonio Banderas as
Bruce
well.
Willis has been doing some bad movies.
Yeah.
I haven't
ton of
watched
them.
any of his stuff, Bruce Willis's stuff. I saw a new film he just did called Die Hard. Are you guys familiar with that?
Did you watch the original Die Hard for the first time? Is that what you're telling me?
I did watch the original. I had never seen it before.
Better be good things I'm about to hear out of your mouth.
Oh no, I was on a flight.
Oh, man.
No, I enjoyed
I envy you.
I was on a flight and I was like, you know what? I ain't never seen Die Hard before. And so I watched it and I enjoyed it. Now I have to watch Die Hard 2.
2 and 3 and 4.
The fourth is the really terrible one that just came out.
1 and 3 are the real bangers.
Oh, the third one is actually better than the second one?
I like the second one's good as well, but
Okay.
I would go like 1, 3, 2, and then don't watch the rest.
Rob watches Die Hard like he watches Godfather.
You watch
1, 3, 2.
And that's crazy because I didn't know that dude who made all the shitty wines also directed Godfather.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Oh, the guy who. Was it the guy? Wait, are you kidding?
Coppola Vineyards.
Yeah.
He has shitty wine.
He has a wine.
I didn't know that.
That's where he
You can
retired.
get it at-
And they're not good?
You can get it at
they're
Trader
fine.
Joe's.
They're just low. They're cheap.
Oh, I've seen it now that you're
Yes.
thinking. Now I can
Yeah,
see it.
Yeah.
And not only do they have Coppola,
I never
but they have,
put the
and they
association.
have Sophia Coppola, but that was like his retirement plan, is my guess.
And he's probably killing it. I mean,
I'm
he's
sure he is. Yeah, if he's got space at Ralph's and Vons and Trader Joe's, you're making money.
You're doing good. He's at Bevmo.
I like Bevmo. I haven't been in there in years.
Yeah. I want to get some of that Bevmo money. You know what I'm saying? Like, really want to diversify.
Dude, Bruce Willis or
Nicolas Cage?
No. What's the other fucking guy? Ocean's 11.
George
Clooney took himself to the supreme next level.
How?
He's in Bevmo. Tequila, dude.
Yeah. Oh, his tequila is really popular.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
crazy. He
Have you
makes more
tried it?
money
Has
on
anyone tried
tequila
it?
than he does
That
on
is movies? Really?
Yeah. Yes.
Is it good tequila?
It's on the Forbes list.
What is it called?
I think it is good. It's
Yeah.
Cazadores.
Yeah,
it
Oh,
is.
that's his?
Yeah,
It is good. I
it's
love
good, yeah.
Cazadores.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is delicious. I just had some last night.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, is that the liquor stands on its own. You didn't even know George Clooney was
I
associated.
didn't
Right.
know. And
Most of those other marriages are based on the fact that the celebrity is the reason you're drinking
Right.
it, not that one. He
because
did it
who's
right.
Paul Mitchell is Patron, right?
Is it?
I think Paul Mitchell
I didn't know
is
that.
the person behind Patron.
All I know is that Diddy is Ciroc.
And if you-
and
Yes.
Ciroc is good. I like Ciroc.
Yeah.
I haven't
Do you
had
not
Ciroc.
Shout out
enjoy
Diddy.
Ciroc? Do you-
I haven't
I
had
don't drink
Ciroc in
vodka, I don't
years.
know.
Okay, Ciroc
Yeah.
life. Ciroc boys. That's my nickname. It's Ciroc.
Ciroc
We
is
got
in
it.
the
We
building.
got the realest in the game, Ciroc and cornbread.
Oh, shit. We're about to diversify into the rap game.
All right, Candice.
I know. Let's get into Rob's struggle.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you can. First of all, I would like to say that, and I don't know if this is you would consider it a struggle or not. I think because this is just who you are, and I love you for it. But you are like the wigger.
Yeah. I think the times of I can't really say the word anymore.
It's African American now.
Right. Yeah,
That's what we're saying.
I prefer African American.
Yeah.
But it's funny because I had a bit where I defend being a wigger, and it ends with saying wiggers don't want to be black. Wiggers want to be me. And it's like a 5-minute bit. So I just spent 4 minutes and 50 seconds defending myself wholeheartedly, and then I hit that line, and it would be like 5 years ago would be like applause. It would just be like,
and not anymore though, because you can't say.
In the last 3 years, I lose them on the first line.
Yeah.
Just the premise, I lose them.
Yeah. You just say the word wigger, and for our listeners who don't know what that is, if you've never grown up with a wigger, it's normally a white person that you would see that's like acting stereotypically black. So like that's what you would call a wigger in the definition. But you are an authentic, and I have a joke about wiggers, and what I say is that to me, if it's an authentic, if you are a white person that just grew up around a bunch of black people, like you grew up in Brooklyn, you're Eminem, grew up in Detroit, like I get it. You adapted to that culture. That's just who you are. I get it. But if you're like, if you're like Iggy Azalea, you're pretending it's all a caricature of what you think and how black people, women, you think they act, and you're doing it for personal gain. Yeah. Fuck that shit. But what you do is real. Like you just grew up.
You.
Yeah.
But, and then I would also say that in Cali, I might be looked at like I act stereotypically a certain way, but I really act stereotypically Brooklyn.
Yes.
So that's
that's true.
It's pieces of black, pieces of Puerto Rican,
right.
Pieces of hardcore Irish, hardcore Italian,
right.
Like all those.
It's like an amalgamation of like all these things,
right? And so it's all just hardcore New York. But then when you come to Cali, people have to be like, oh, he acts like black people, and that's just because you never hung out with a real Italian. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Why, you think tracksuits started with black people?
They appropriated that
the black
from the Italians.
They're wearing Italian tracksuits. Those are the best ones. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
I know. I watched The Sopranos. It was a joke, guys. It was a joke.
So what's your struggle?
Yeah, what's your struggle?
My struggle is it's going to bring it down a little. It's
not going to bring it down.
I'm the typical depression, social anxiety attack type of person.
We all deal with depression.
Yeah.
Some people do.
Yeah. Candice is maybe one of the lucky ones. Yeah.
I don't. And I'm not bragging, but I'll feel bad for like 2 days, and I'll be like, okay.
2 days? That's like a long.
That's long for me.
Oh.
And I'm like, what's wrong? And then, but even then, I'll just be like, I'll get out of it really quickly. But 2
months.
That's you? That's a norm for you?
Oh, damn. Yeah. It gets dark.
It gets dark.
Yeah.
So tell me, so you have social anxiety, and you think your depression is...
Really, I think they're two separate things, but I have like really, really bad social anxiety.
Like, give me an example of like where so you're saying like if you're in any type of setting where there's like, if you're at a comedy show...
I can get overwhelmed and just disappear. And then you just, I just like can't just dealing with people and shit.
Like small
I start
talk,
getting anxiety, and then I start getting paranoid, and then someone will say something, and then I think that it's like such a weird thing that it's hard to explain. All right, here's one. I went to the and this is dumb. I know that this is dumb, right? But I go to the Comedy Store and I'm hanging out, and I go to walk in, and it's like a new guy at the door, and then he stops me, and he
know who you are,
and he doesn't know who I am, right? And that's a normal thing. He's just a new guy,
right?
And then
turnover there is
I start going, and then I'm in my head, I'm like, damn, I'm just I don't do enough stand up. Nobody knows who the fuck I am.
That's where that'll go from there.
I'll start spiraling.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'll start spiraling, and then I'll just fucking leave. I'll go home.
Really?
Yeah. Like it's that, like
how
it's
far
hard.
do you live from the store?
He lives on the
Santa
west.
Monica.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my.
Or I won't leave. I will not leave the house for days.
If just because of something like that happened,
no,
or
just
in general,
to avoid something like that.
Right.
I'll just think of I need to go out. I need to go to the Improv and hang out. I gotta just show my face. I gotta be part of the fucking community, and I will get so much anxiety from it that I just stay in the house. When I say I don't leave the house, I mean I don't leave the house. I stay in my apartment, and it could be for days. I don't go to the store. I'm ordering every meal. I don't
having it delivered.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm in the home. I get stuck in the house.
Yeah.
I do that.
Yeah,
I know you.
I do that. I've spent like 5 days in a row where I don't see the sunshine. Only time I see the sun is like Trader Joe's is a block from my house.
Yeah.
So when I get hungry, I'll walk to Trader Joe's, buy enough stuff to make meals for a couple days.
Yeah.
and maybe a couple bottles of wine, and then just like fucking sit at home.
I feel like after this episode, we're going to get a Trader Joe's sponsorship. Because I think we've mentioned them at least 17 times. And we're not even a half hour in yet.
Hey, those microwavable chicken parm meals, love them, guys.
Yo, get those pretzel thins, those everything bagel pretzel crisps. Put a slice of avocado on top. Mwah.
A little Cuban wrap. Oh, man.
But
Trail mixes are on fire, son.
In your mind, you'll like create the scenario of what's going to happen before you leave, and then just
and it's like to the point where like, and that I can't even be anywhere near like the Silver Lake Lounge, like you know what I'm saying,
that
like
place.
or like I have more problems with like
what is it? The problem over there? Yeah.
I just feel way more judged. You know what I'm saying? So I already have anxiety.
It's like hipstery area. Yeah. So wait. So do you think that you create narratives in your head about what people are thinking about you all the
absolutely.
time?
Completely untrue. I'll know they're 100% untrue, but then I'll just go through spells where I just fucking believe them. It's like,
right.
Yeah.
And like, so have you ever, because something just happened with a comic not too long ago at the store where this is like a pretty well-known comic in the comedy world. Definitely someone who you would think the door guys would know, but they didn't. One of the new guys was like, I don't know who you are. And he like flipped out. Like it turned into like a screaming match between the two of them. Now, is it something, have you ever gotten to something like that? Or is it more of just a self?
No, mine's not like an ego-driven thing. Mine is just like, I believe I'm a failure. You know what I'm saying? So like, no matter how many wins I get, I'm still going to think I'm a failure. So then when something happens in my life where I take a fail, you know, where I fail or I take the loss, I can spiral pretty hard. Like,
right.
Yeah. So with that, I wasn't mad at, like, when the door guy doesn't know who I am, I'm not mad at the door guy.
Right.
I'm mad at myself for not doing what I have to do in comedy to be more known.
Who I am.
Right.
Yeah.
And I realize what I'm talking about is dumb as fuck and doesn't matter.
It's not dumb.
It's not dumb at all, Rob.
It's not dumb. It's like, that's your story, dude. That's like what you're overcoming.
Right. But like worrying about what like the door guy thinks is kind of dumb. But it's just an example of like, and then if someone were to like, it builds up to like, if someone were to actually get crazy in my face, like we're fighting. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I won't.
Right. You won't hold back.
I'll ruin my fucking life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you well, I have two questions. What's the longest you have been like in your house without, leaving?
I'll have to be forced to leave, like, because life happens, so you have to leave. But
right.
if I had endless money, I don't know, the number would be longer. But I'd probably like 3 or 4 days just because I have to go get money somehow.
Okay.
I gotta go out and do it.
Yeah.
Are you productive when you're in there? Like, are you working on stuff? No, you're just kind of
not fucking at all. No, can't do it. Yeah. And then I'm not productive, so then that feeds the cycle.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. It makes it worse.
Because I'll sit in there and go, well, I'm inside. I might as well just like work on some editing or something. And then I'll look at the computer and I'll go, nope. And I'll turn on like some Ryan Adams depressing music and I'll just listen to that and just sit there in quiet.
Yeah.
And just listen to sad music and feel sad about myself. Then get hungry, cook something, go to sleep. Wake up the next day. Is it better today?
Yeah.
No. Do the same thing over.
It's hard. And I have found that when I'm sad or depressed about something, it literally only takes, for me, is like, because usually that means, for me, it usually is something work related. If I'm like sad, I just feel like maybe I'm not doing anything. Like a week will go by and it's like no one has sent me an email about something that they want me to work on or something. And I'll be like, oh my God, I'm like, what's happening? And then I'll write something and immediately I'll feel better. I'll write a joke or write just to get something out creatively. And it tends to get the juices churning. I don't know if that works for you guys, but that's just what I do. Or I'll force myself to get up somewhere.
Yeah, that helps. That always helps to get on stage.
Yeah. So wait, I know you take stuff sometimes.
Oh, like drugs? Oh, yeah. So like
You mean like what?
Yeah.
Drugs?
I've been depressed my whole life, but I had no clue, right? Because I was a drug addict my whole life. So like I didn't know I was depression or I was bad in social situations until I got sobered up, and I got sobered up because I started doing comedy. So at the same time, I'm not doing drugs to dull everything, and now I'm in a position where I have to be in people's faces, be on stage, so it's like all happened at once.
Yeah,
so there's a lot to deal with. But like, my whole life I've had all that shit, and that's why I started. So I was like a bad baby. I was born with a birthmark on my nose, like a big.
I remember it was like a port wine. Didn't you say it was something like that?
And then I had colic and I had pigeon toe. So I was a baby that was ugly, had a cast.
In the 1800s, they would have killed you immediately.
I was ugly. I had a cast, and I was crying for the first 6 months of my life.
Wow.
Yeah. You were a struggle baby.
So it's like when I try to examine it, I think like, yo, did I just start catching looks that early on? The first images of people meeting me in my life were just people like, oh my God, that's an ugly baby.
They were terrible.
Think of something nice to say.
People just try it.
Look at him.
Like when you're learning body language in the first years of your life.
See this.
I was, yeah. And then I would learn people's body language around me was don't look, don't look, don't look, don't stare, don't stare,
look him in
don't
the
stare,
eye.
don't look. Yeah.
The safest place is to look at his chest.
Yeah.
Just stare at his chest.
Yeah.
Look at, he has all 10 toes.
So then,
But no, he has pigeon toes. So you can't look there either.
Right. Well,
They're pointing at each other.
pigeon toes means that your feet are pointed inwards. They put casts on your legs. So the first year of your life, you're in a baby in casts.
You're a baby with casts
With two
on.
casts on your legs. And you're screaming, you won't shut the fuck up on the plane or in the grocery store, and you're ugly as fuck.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So then that, I can feet straighten out, collar goes away. And then when I'm going to school and stuff like that, I'm still kind of like, I have a big red nose. And so like, I'm just used to getting picked on my whole life.
Yeah.
Right. So that just is, and I'm introverted on top of it. I'm quiet. As far back as I can remember, I wanted to be a writer. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So so then you just like start to just go inward. And it's like the world is against me.
Yeah.
And I just got to figure it out on my own. And then then I would start to realize like, puberty would start to hit and I'd be like, fuck, I'm taller than everybody, but everybody still makes fun of me. Like, why is little fucking Stephen G with his fucking pothole acne face, 5'2", making fun of me? I look like a goddamn Viking. I got blonde hair down to my shoulders. I look like fucking Thor and people are picking on me.
Sometimes that's good though.
It works. It's working out for me so far because I got funny. You know what I'm saying?
And that's the whole issue with like, and I know some comedians have touched on this, but like Chris Rock has a joke about it. I know I've heard Jake Weissman do a joke about the bullying, like how if we get rid of all the bullying, it does definitely build character.
Right.
Like brilliance comes from, individuals who didn't feel good enough. Like they pushed themselves harder to prove themselves. And I know that's not the ideal situation. It's not emotion for the most emotionally healthy person. But at the same time, a lot of fucking amazing things have come out of those things.
I think it's important too, to be able to I hope I'm at a place now in my life where I get made fun of more by normal people than any comedian that I know. Like all of my friends are not comedians.
Except when you come on this podcast.
I get made fun of a lot on this podcast. But to be able to take a joke about yourself is like a very big deal.
It's a big deal.
I think it helps other people to be able to
I agree.
I'm bigger than most of my friends too, but they could still make fun of me and I'll laugh it off and they get a laugh and it helps like the group, You
learn to laugh stuff off, and then you also learn an even more important rule is if the person's making fun of you and what they're saying is not funny, it's going to make them look worse than you.
Exactly.
So if you let them go for it and then let them fail and then be like, oh, that was really funny. Boom, you just won. Yeah. Everyone forgot what they said. They just remember it didn't work.
It didn't land.
And then you start to get your comebacks, and then it's like, yeah. But so I was like always, since I was always at the bottom of the social hierarchy, or I don't know what came first, whether I was like a person who like paid attention to the way that things worked in the world, or I was forced to do that. But I know that for as far as I can go back, I remember I was very, very aware of social hierarchy. Yeah. So I knew like who was popular, in what order their rank was, and why they were popular.
Why were they there? Right.
He's a sports guy. He's dumb as fuck, but he's ripped. He's good at sports, and no one will talk shit to him because they could get beat up by him. Right. This kid's good looking. Girls like him. He's not that funny, but girls like him. So that's why he's number 2 popular. So I was always figuring that out. Like, why are they popular? Because I was the bottom. and so it's like, maybe it came from like, I was trying to figure out why I wasn't popular. So I did a full data analysis of every fucking society, every society I've ever been part of, every school I've ever been part of, every team, everything. I was running the analysis of why am I at the bottom of the thing. It didn't make sense. Even if I like was on a baseball team and I was good at baseball, I was still like the bottom of the social hierarchy. So I guess that had to help with comedy.
So all through high school, you're at the bottom?
Well, prior to high school, I went to Catholic school from kindergarten through 8th grade. So the same kids.
Right.
So the social hierarchy didn't change. And so, yes, I was at the bottom the whole time. And I didn't know why the fucking, the ginger with freckles that was overweight was more popular than me, right? And I had to figure it out. And then I found out, that's because he's got money. And everyone can go play Dungeons and Dragons in his basement. So that's where he stands. So it's like, I don't got no money. I don't have girls. I don't have this. So I started to figure those things out. I guess I got funny, but not like outward, not like, I wasn't funny to perform to be funny. I was funny in defense. So people wouldn't consider me a funny person. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. So, so your whole entire school career, you never worked your way up from the bottom?
No, not. And then like in high school, it's sort of like I met new kids and it splintered off. And then I was like able to be like popular among unpopular people. You know what I'm saying? So, and I was fine with that.
Right.
Because I was like hated popular people so much that I was like, I'm going to hang out with the unpopular people anyway. And it's like, oh, here I can be
the coolest of this.
Yeah. And then, but then it didn't even matter because then you're all unpopular. So you're like, if I'm the coolest guy here, it doesn't matter. So like, what do you really like people for?
Right.
So then you get to learn how to be a good person.
Right.
Because it's like, all right, so now I'm at the uncool table. And instead of looking at why everyone's not cool here. So why do I like this guy? Oh, this guy's really smart. This guy's going places. He's going to help me with my homework, you know? So then you start to see strengths rather than looking down on people. Right. I just always have been examining the hierarchy. So, and then you start thinking like, oh, well, maybe in the real world that don't exist, but then when you become a comedian, guess what? The hierarchy fucking exists.
Right.
It fucking exists. Yeah.
Were you able to get girls in high school at all?
Yeah, I was. So it's like I was unpopular among like and it was all boys high school that I went to.
Oh, okay,
so it's all dudes there. I was unpopular, but I always had a girlfriend, or I always had like a hot girlfriend. So, and that would just like, I'd be like, how does this work? Why am I winning here? You know what I'm saying? Not winning here. You know? Yeah.
And did you care? Oh, I guess you did care. But to me, I'd be like, well, I don't give a shit what all you dudes think.
Yeah.
Look at her.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. But it was like I got picked on, and then it would be violent. So you're literally you have to fight back.
Right.
You know?
And you used to fight?
Yeah, I started fighting. But because I was aware of the social hierarchy, I knew who I couldn't fight. And I didn't care if I'd win or lose a fight. I'll lose a fight, but I didn't want to lose the people, right? So if you beat up a very popular person, you'll take the loss in the world because you're way less popular.
Yeah.
Right.
It's ridiculous that a fucking 11-year-old is thinking this way.
He has a chart.
Yes. So then if I was like,
he has a beautiful mind map on his wall behind of who he can pick on and who he can't.
So like one instance is like a kid got left back in the 8th grade. So he was supposed to be in high school already, but now he's in our 8th grade class. And then he tried to mouth off to me. And I was like, well, he's not in. We don't know him. We didn't grow up with him.
Right.
He's dumb. He's bigger than me, but he's dumb. So I was like, I'll fight that kid. And I did. And it's like, you know, we were 8th graders, so I didn't take a lot of damage, but I wouldn't say I won the fight.
Right.
But at least I was like, in my head, I was like, I'm going to fight this kid because I won't lose my spot in popularity, but I will send a message that I'm willing to fight.
Yeah.
So lay off a little. And it does work.
Yeah.
Like it's like we are just fucking apes at the end of the day.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm going to fight this guy. No one will hate me and everyone will know he's willing to fight.
Yeah.
Right.
And you're a very interesting person because I feel like you have so many layers because looking at you, I remember my first time seeing you. And I know I've talked to you about this before.
Yeah.
My first experience with Rob Christensen was at this open mic spot called the Sandwich Spot or Sandwich Shop. I think it was Sandwich Spot. It's no longer there anymore, but it was in Santa Monica.
Yep.
And I remember seeing him just do his set, and I was with Ed Greer. And I don't remember what you were talking, maybe fighting. I don't remember what it was. Yeah. You remember what it was?
Yeah.
Oh, please tell me, because I don't remember what it was. But I was like, this man is crazy.
So it's the only time I ever did this. And it worked that time. I never did it again. But I was like trying to cross the street and some dude almost hit me with his car. So like, so I like fucking flipped him off and was like, fuck you, and screaming at him and kicked his car as it went by. And then he pulled over and got out of the car and he came up to me and he was like, what's up? Why are you going to kick my car? I was like, you almost ran me over. How do you think that you're right in this situation? And he's like, man, I will fuck you up. And then I was like, yo, bro, I put my shit, I was on my way to work. I took my bag off, my little laptop bag. I took it off. I loosened up my tie and shit. And I was like, all right, man, we're going to fucking fight right now. We're going to fucking fight right now. But I want you to know that the fact that you pulled over and got out of your car, after I whoop your fucking ass, I'm calling the cops. So you better win this fight. Because if you lose this fight, you're taking an ass whooping and you're going to fucking jail, bro. And I got all the facts on my side. I'm a pedestrian. And then he was like, you're lucky I don't fuck you up, blah, 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 tough guy talk. And then he got back in his car and left.
And I just remember the way you delivered it, there was a look in your eye. It was like you were still so angry. It was fresh off just happening. Yeah. And I was like, he's crazy. I remember saying to Ed, I think he's crazy. And Ed was like, yeah. Ed was like, absolutely.
That's hilarious.
But since I've gotten to know you over the past few years, it's just like you are one of the nicest people.
Oh, thank you.
That I know out here. And I also think you're very genuine and you're sensitive.
I'm very sensitive. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, if I had just gone off that first impression and then not gotten to know you at all, I would still be in my head like, oh, there was this one crazy motherfucker who he's probably got shot.
There you go. There you go. There you go right there.
Stay away from him.
That's right. People, we're trained to think that people who are not scared of violence are the bullies.
Yeah.
But for me, I learned how to fight from fighting bullies. And I also learned a strong sense of justice from that. So it's like, I will not pick on a person weaker than me.
Yeah.
I will not pick on an innocent person. You have to wrong me first.
Yeah.
Right.
But if you wrong me, we fighting. Like,
We fighting.
and not in that way, like, because now it's like you'd have to like steal a joke from me for me to hit you first. I don't hit first, you know what I'm saying? Not anymore.
Yeah.
Because then it's like, then there was a time in my life where people knew you'd swing, so they would just get you to hit them with words, so then you're starting every fight. So that's how you can misconstrue the perception of who the person is. He hit me first, They say every bad thing to you, pick on you for a year, and you swing on them, now you take the L for that because you hit first.
Yeah.
Right.
So like I learned those lessons.
Right.
That's I've never been in a fist fight in my life. I'm 34 years old.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Never
believe
been in a
that.
fight. I've never gotten angry enough to like where I would want to fight. Because I always think in my head, I'm like, when I die, am I going to remember this moment? Does this matter that much?
Yeah.
If the answer is no, which it like always is, I'll like find a way to not do it. Or I used to sincerely believe when I was in junior high and high school in Martin Luther King. And it was like nonviolent protest.
Yeah.
I don't need to fight. Like I could fight you by not saying, not fighting.
There's a word for that. I think it's called a himsa, where it's like you practice.
I thought you were going to say a bitch.
That too. You're also.
It's a little bit.
You're also a bitch.
That's why you're a little bitch.
But yeah, it was like Gandhi's whole thing was nonviolence.
Did you go to a big high school?
No, I wouldn't say it's big. No, it was like a Catholic school, all boys Catholic school. So by definition, no, not big.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember I think I was it was like freshman or sophomore year in high school. My class is 100 people, small school. And, rumors spread fast when you're in a small school. So I get to school in the morning and somebody goes, Waylon is going to kick your ass. And I was like, why?
Somebody named Waylon?
Yeah. He's going to kick your ass. Why?
Did
I don't know, but he's telling everybody he's going to beat your ass at lunch. So all day I'm just dealing with, and I wasn't cool. So it comes to lunchtime, I'm like looking over my shoulder because he was the guy that beat everybody's ass.
Right.
He was a big dude?
He just knew how to fight. He's like one of these country strong motherfuckers. He's just like a white.
Was he like fat?
No, he's just a strong dude. Yeah. So at lunch, I get tapped on the shoulder. I turn around, it's him.
Oh no.
And now I'm in the middle of this circle and he's like, I'm gonna beat your ass. And I was like, why? And he was like, I don't know. I'm just going to beat your ass. And I was like, dude, I'm not fighting you. I'm going to turn around and walk that way. You can punch me in the back of the head if you want, but I'm not fighting you for no reason.
Shoot in the back of the head.
And I
he punched me in the back of the head.
No, I just turned
The
around.
last thing I saw was a Tweety bird.
I turned around and then the world went black.
I woke up, it was Thursday.
No, I just walked away.
And that was it?
People called me a bitch for like a week, and I was like,
And that's it.
fine, I
Yeah,
don't care.
so what? Right. And you never knew why. He didn't have a reason. He didn't have a reason.
There was literally no reason. He just
Yeah.
wanted to fight me.
Yeah, because his dad beats his ass or
Probably.
something.
Yeah.
You know, like, that's why.
You ever wonder how your life would be different if you had fought Waylon?
Ah, and
No,
one.
that's funny. And I'd have cornrows right now.
Yeah.
It would just led down a spiral of drugs
Completely
and
different life.
violence. He'd be a misogynist and
Yes.
womanizer. He'd be in prison. He'd have teardrop tattoos.
Be an open mic rapper.
Open mic rapper.
So one of the drugs that you fucks with, Rob, is ketamine,
Yeah,
right?
ketamine. Yeah.
What is
And
that?
yeah, explain what it is, but also you told a very funny story on This Is Not Happening for Comedy Central,
Yeah.
which is also online.
Yeah.
Where can people find that?
At the
It's on YouTube?
YouTube.com.
The YouTube.
The YouTube.
Yeah. It's Comedy Central. Just Google Rob Christensen. This is not happening, and it'll take you to YouTube.
But is there a way to give us tell us what ketamine is, why you take it or have taken it, and could you give us is it possible to give you like a really short version of what happened, or is it one of those things where, because just for our listeners now to give them a little teaser?
Yeah, I'll give the teaser of the story is that me and my best friend Gary ended up in California like a decade ago, and we decided that we were going to go to Mexico and to get some ketamine because we had done that a lot. We would go to Mexico often to get ketamine and take it back to New York. But now we were like a year clean. We went down there, we got some ketamine. I drove the wrong way up a one-way street because I was high, and then we got into with some Mexican cops, some federales, and
Wow.
they tried to arrest us, and you have to listen to the story to find out the rest.
Yeah, no, it's really good. But how did you find out about ketamine? What is it, and what does it do for you when you take it?
So I found out about ketamine because I grew up at the height of hip hop and the height of the rave scene. In the late 90s, I was a late teenager, and just that was like when the raves were going off. People were doing ecstasy, people were doing ketamine, smoking PCP, doing meth, like the Tunnel in New York, Limelight, all that shit was popping, and I was doing all that. I was selling drugs, using drugs, but so it was always around. The first time I did ketamine, I was probably 15 or 16 years old, did a bump, loved it. And it just slowly became my favorite thing. So it was like, I stopped doing smoking weed. I stopped doing ecstasy. I stopped doing everything. And then I would just smoke PCP and do ketamine. And I would only smoke PCP when the ketamine wasn't around. And just like from the first time I ever did K, it's a cat tranquilizer. I was sniffing it. And then once my tolerance was too high to sniff it, I would start just injecting it in a muscle. So I'm not gross. I didn't put it in a vein. I did it like a nice boy. I injected drugs into my muscle.
It's a cat tranquilizer.
Or
Like a lion cat, or like a domestic
yes,
cat?
it could be up to a lion. I don't know if they use it on a lion. They also use it on humans in some countries, in hospitals, and it's like a painkiller, and it creates euphoria, and then it's strong enough to knock out an animal, like livestock, knock out an animal to do surgery. But because it was like meant for smaller animals and smaller livestock, when a human does it, they just like get this amazing off the planet, out of body experience. Like I'm floating, I'm flying, I'm falling off a building really slowly type feeling. And like, it's like you hallucinate, but you're not awake for it. It's like a dream. You go into a dream world. Mm-hmm. And like, I would like
an awake dream world. So it's like you're literally like awake in your own dream.
Yeah, what I would like to do is...
That's cool.
Yeah. But you're not moving. You're like, it's like in the way that heroin will put someone down.
Yeah.
And they can't get up, you're down. And I would just like to like lay on a bed or sit on a couch and put on some music that I like. And then like, I would literally ride the song. So I'd feel like I'm on like a bobsled, and the song would go faster, and we'd be going faster. It'd go slower, and we go slower. And that's what I like to do on it. And then it turns out now that they're using ketamine to treat depression. Hey, call back.
Are they?
Yeah. So they're using it. You can Google it. There's a Santa Monica Ketamine Center. And they're using it for PTSD and depression. And what they do is they get you on an IV of a small, low dosage, so you're still awake for it.
Yeah.
And then you do your therapy while you're high on ketamine. You talk to your therapist, they ask you questions, and you talk out your shit. But it's sort of like a truth serum, you know, in that way. It just gets rid of the ego. It gets rid of all these frontal layers of your existence of what you are.
Right.
And so like when
you're super vulnerable and able to talk about.
Very vulnerable, but then also like, so you could have a bad trip and you could take some acid or get on shrooms and start thinking about something bad that happened to you. And then because you're still using your logic, you know, you're still up here in the front of your brain and you could have a bad trip, but you don't have a bad trip on ketamine because it gets rid of all that, where you get to have like this outsider's view of your problems.
Right.
So you don't take them personally anymore.
Yeah.
So it's just like, damn. So it's like you're watching yourself have this problem and you're just thinking about it, but you're not taking it personally. It's just this dream state.
You get to like be your own friend and comment on your problems from,
because we all know if they're your problems, they're your problems. You're emotional about it.
Right.
The ketamine separates you from it. So I've never seen anyone do it. I think Neil Brennan has done it, like when he experiments with that shit. And so you just talk to a therapist from that sort of early dream states to low dosage, and you work out your problems, work out your PTSD and shit like that. And I think that's crazy that I would find this drug and just stick with it from 16. Like, this is my favorite drug to now, about to turn 37. 20 years. I just knew my cure. I knew what my...
That was it.
Yeah. I didn't know I was depressed from all the shit that went on in my childhood.
Yeah.
I didn't know yet. But I found the solution to it very early on. Well, a bad solution, a self-medicated solution.
Right.
Yeah.
But, you know, I know it's self-medicating, and I know that's dangerous just because... For example, what would happen if you had taken the wrong amount?
Well, I don't know.
Can you overdose on ketamine?
Yeah.
I don't know the final answer on that, but I know that I've never heard of someone overdosing. I don't. It's like, the way I think about it is like sniffing it, you're not going to overdose because you can't get that much powder up your nose. It would take so much powder, and since it knocks you out, if you did one big line and you had plans to go back and do another big line, by the time you tried to do your third big line, you're just, everything's great. Right? You're in a dream world. And then if you're shooting it up with a syringe, you have to be trying to kill yourself because the syringe would have to be so big. You know what I'm saying? Like... Because if you have just like syringes are normally 1 cc. The syringes that you're familiar with, it's 1 cc. A bottle of ketamine is 10 cc's, so it's 10 syringe fulls, right? So you would go and shoot up 1 syringe full, right? If you did that or you did that, a normal person did that, they're not gonna have the tactile ability to get that thing filled, that syringe filled the second time. But if your tolerance is high, maybe you could figure out how to get a second one in you. But after the second one, I don't know anyone who's gonna be able to fill a third.
You would have to hire an intern and be like, bro,
keep filling the syringe.
put all 10 of these.
Have you ever had a bad experience on it?
Not ketamine, no.
Not ketamine. What's the drug that you've had a terrible experience on?
Marijuana.
Really?
Shrooms,
oh, that's right. You tell me that makes you paranoid, right?
Yeah,
so all of them except for...
My chemistry changed at one point. I smoked and sold weed from like 13 to 17.
Shit.
And it just was... I was a pothead. And then one day I got too paranoid and it wasn't... Whatever, like, because it's all self-medicating. So it's like... The weed stopped putting the demons down. Yeah. You know? And then I needed to find something else to put the demon down. So, or it might have been the opposite where I started doing ecstasy and acid and ketamine and my brain now needed the harder shit to keep the demons down. Right. So then when I would smoke weed, the demons are still there. Like, haha, motherfucker, we're dealing with ketamine. We don't care about weed no more. You can't. Yeah. So like, I would just get paranoid and shit, go home and do homework, get scared. Like, so I just stopped smoking it and just went to the hard shit. And then I was also like, there's not enough money in weed. So I started selling ecstasy. At that time, there's a lot of money in ecstasy and a lot of money in ketamine. So I was also following the fucking money.
Are people still doing ecstasy anymore or is it just Molly?
Well, Molly is ecstasy, yeah.
Isn't Molly pure ecstasy?
Yeah. That's the hustle.
So like
so it's not.
That's what it's
ecstasy.
Yeah, that's like if you're a chemist and you're like ecstasy, here's ecstasy and here's MDMA, and then you know the chemical compounds and can explain why they're different. But we're not chemists, we're getting street drugs, so we don't know what the fuck we're doing. Right. It could be crushed up ecstasy because Molly's more popular now. They could crush up ecstasy and put it in a pill. And you just do an ecstasy. Right. Or it could be like 1 part Molly, 2 parts speed. Yeah. Right. You know, like we have no clue what we're taking half the time.
Right. Which is that's why it terrifies me. Yeah, but I still do want to try Molly. Yeah, me too. It terrifies me, but I still want to try it.
Yeah, me too.
I did half a Molly pill.
And you said it was fun. That you did great.
Super fun.
Yeah. But you didn't have sex on it?
No, because I was already high and drunk, like on weed. I was on weed and like a lot of alcohol. And so I got the rolling sensation off it, but I was also like self-aware. So I got paranoid that fuck, I am high right now.
Yeah.
I'm really fucking high.
I'm oogling is this fucking chick right now because she's dancing right on the music. I need to leave.
No one has ever danced more on beat than this girl right here.
Isn't it crazy, that feeling? I was like, I understand EDM music now.
Well, it enhances that. Yeah, it enhances all that shit. Yeah, I'm down with all that.
Yeah.
I'm down with that. But now I'm like, I'm a cliche because stand-up really did like save my life. So when I started doing stand-up, I found like this thing that was so challenging that I loved so much that it would take literally all of my time and everything else started to fall off.
Right.
Drugs fell off.
Right.
Everything other thing. Graffiti fell out of my life. Every other thing fell out of my life to do stand-up. So now I can drink like a normal person. I can do drugs like a normal person because I'm not going to do it if it interferes with stand-up.
Right.
So if you want to do some Molly, all right, let's make sure I don't got any shows the day.
You're like,
the
I'll
next
take the
3
weekend
days.
off.
Like, yeah. Like I got to plan it like a normal person.
Right.
But for so long, it was just like all drugs all the time, anytime.
Do you get a drug rush off of doing stand-up? Because I think that's what gets a lot of people to keep doing it.
I think there is
There's like a high, so if you have an addictive personality and you do stand-up and you enjoy it, then you're going to want to go back.
That's where you get that rush
and
from.
if you crush, my God, that's like better than Klonopin. It's just like what a mood changer that is.
Mm-hmm.
Did your mom know that did she know that you were taking drugs when you were younger?
Yeah.
Did she try to stop you or like what was?
Sure. I was in drug programs from like 15. Like I've been through a ton of drug programs.
Like
Wow.
Dare?
Yeah.
Like,
Dare?
no. Like,
I was like, that wasn't.
well, I did do Dare.
I did Dare as well.
And it just piqued my interest. Some dude walked in my classroom with a briefcase full of drugs. Oh, really? And what's that one? What's that one?
And you dare me to take these, you say?
Oh, really? Well, I accept your dare, good man. I would do like outpatient programs. So like I got caught smoking weed when I was 15. Boom, right into an outpatient program where I'd sit in a circle with a bunch of dudes that just got out of jail. So I got mafia dude over here. I got fucking
And these are grown ass men.
neck tattoo Puerto Rican over here. I got fucking crackhead prostitute over here, and I'm sitting here, 15-year-old.
Did they think that was going to scare you into
They
being
were just
better,
like, how do we do this? What's the right?
They just didn't know.
They're just trying to help.
Yeah, they in particular were just trying to do the right thing, and they didn't know, and no one actually knew. Yeah. No one knew how. They still don't really know how to solve that shit. You know, it's
Right.
Because the thing about drug addicts is that every single one of them has a different cure. Like every one of them got into drugs for a certain way in a certain place for a certain reason, and it developed at a certain rate. So every case is individual. So the cure for everyone is going to be a different thing.
Right.
Yeah, and so someone might just be like they need to reconcile with a family member,
Right.
and that would
go
be
away.
fulfilling enough for them to not chase this hole. And like for me, it was like now I realize back in the day I needed activities. You know, I needed to do shit to stop analyzing the fucking world, being worried about the hierarchy of my fucking 8th grade class. And then there was just no activities, right? So I didn't know what I liked.
Yeah.
And then you become a drug addict and you never learn what you like. So then like I got on an improv team and I was like, all right, this is
so funny to me.
This
that
is
you
kind
do
of for
improv.
pussies, but I like it.
It's so funny to me. Look at Rob, and you would never. That's what I'm talking about. You're so many layers of like.
I like improv, but improv didn't like me.
Improv is hard.
Yeah.
Improv is so hard.
Improv is hard because you have to rely on other people.
Yes.
Well, that's not the only reason why it's hard.
That's why it's hardest for me.
It's hard.
I don't trust other people to like take the funny where I want to take it.
Yeah, no, it's hard for me because I'm by nature like a writer. So like I'm in my head a lot. So like I'm always constantly like, what's the funniest thing I can say instead of just being in the moment and just say it. So that's the hardest part for me is sometimes like I get in my head too much and I like am trying too hard instead of just letting it be like.
What I got out of it was the same thing as drugs. It was a way to tap into another consciousness. And I know, Candice, you meditate, right?
I do.
So for improv, it's like if you can get there, you can't get there every show, but you can get to a point where it's like, I'm not thinking anymore. I'm in another plane.
Yeah.
I'm experiencing and I'm just responding. And so like when you get that and you get that feeling and it goes well, you get addicted to that. But I didn't get along with improv people outside of improv.
Silly.
Yeah. Just ridiculous.
They're
like
silly
coddled,
people.
just soft, you know, just like little soft as baby's feet and shit. So then I was like, well, how do I
Realist
do
in the
this?
game here, guys. Realist in the game.
How do I do this without these people?
Right.
Boom, stand up. And then I searched, I try to get, and then when you're smashing doing stand up, you're in that other consciousness.
Yeah.
So I don't need ketamine because I could do without it. And I don't meditate, but I want to because I believe you could get there meditating.
You can.
Yeah. And we were talking about the floating, what's it called? The isolation chamber?
The float tanks.
Yeah.
The one that Joe Rogan has in his,
Right,
has in his man cave.
Big Joe Rogan fans.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Not so much, but big Joe Rogan fans. I'm joking. Please have me on, Mark.
The sleep deprivation tanks. Paul can talk to you about some of that later because he's going to start doing something with that. Yeah,
that's dope. Yeah. So now that I realize that you don't need drugs to reach this other place of consciousness and you can feel happy just from the purity of that, then drugs then seem like the cheap imitation of it.
Yeah, it's true. That's like, have you guys ever heard of a dude named Ram Dass? I just found out about this guy, but he was heavy. I think he what was his background? He was like a CEO or some corporation or something that's back in the day, and always was unfulfilled. Like had a bunch of money, but was like, I just feel unfulfilled. So he was like, I feel like there's more to life than what's happening right now. And he's like, these material things are leaving me very like unsatisfied. So he went on like a journey, went to India, and started doing like drugs to basically take him to this other level because he swore, he was like, I feel like I'm seeing God when I'm taking these drugs. And he was like, there has to be a way to get here without taking these drugs. And then goes to India and finds out like, oh, I can get here through meditation. Right. And so it's like better than any drug. But that's what it does. God is real, guys. God is real.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that one, but
we're not going to air this episode anymore. You're dead to me, Rob.
Hilarious.
I just went to Catholic school my whole life, so I got some problems.
No, you're jaded, but no.
Are you guys going to play the lottery?
No.
Today?
It's up to $500 million now.
Oh. Should we?
Shit.
I don't know. $2, $500 million.
Well,
you want to go in?
If you're an optimistic person, you're going to take this as a sign.
I'm not optimistic. I just don't want somebody else to win at the grocery store.
I want me to win or no one to win. I want the money to sit on a table at the lottery office for the rest of time.
Right. I get it or nobody gets it.
All that shit we were talking about, higher planes, fuck that. I want $500 million.
We can start our rap group.
Yeah. We're going to be called the $500 million.
Our cornbread bakery will be the front. That's how we wash the money.
Wait, I've already forgotten your nickname. What was yours, Mel?
Ciroc boy.
Ciroc. Yeah, Ciroc the realist in the game and cornbread. You guys, this was amazing. We have to wrap it up though.
Yeah.
Thank you. This was so fun. Thank you for coming on, Rob.
Thanks for having me.
And you are very welcome. And to our listeners, thank you so much. You welcome. Thank you for
cornbread.
I know someone who called it coonbread one time, but that's a whole nother episode.
Big thing to unpack right there.
Yeah, it's a lot. You guys can find me at Jokes by Candice on social media and CandiceThompsonComedy.com. Mal?
malhall.com, at malhall on social media, and subscribe. New content coming to the YouTube channel, Malhall TV.
The YouTubes.
The YouTubes.com.
The YouTube.
And Rob?
BrooklynRob.com, at Rob Loves Bagels everywhere, and then my sketch videos at 3-Letter Crew everywhere.
Really quickly, why is it Rob Loves Bagels? Because you just really love bagels?
I did love bagels at the time. Now we're talking 10 years ago when I picked the name, but it also represents like bagels are bad for you with too much. And I also love everything that's bad for me, right? So it's like, if you want to get deep with it, it represents
you have a tattoo of a bagel on you, don't you?
No, the word bagel.
Bagel, that's what it was.
Yeah, the next one will be a real bagel.
Okay.
But
what's your favorite kind of bagel?
Everything bagel.
You go for
I'm
that.
telling you, get those everything bagel flavored pretzel crisps from Trader Joe's.
Girl, I already know about them. They're delicious.
Yeah, they're amazing.
I'll scoop cream cheese with them. Just get a whole tub of cream cheese.
I haven't tried that. Try the avocado.
Oh man.
Yeah. No, as we I'm gonna reach out to Trader Joe's after this. And so guys, for the listeners, thank you so much for tuning in every week when you do. And for our new listeners, if you are enjoying this, please tell somebody, tell a friend, tell a family member. If we give you a little bit more light during your day, then that's all we want. So thank you so much, and we will see you next time. Bye guys.
Later.